Hello, everyone. This is Ricky Caudell with the Plain Truth Podcast. And today I'd like to talk to you about the first week in the NFL. Let's start out with my team, the Cincinnati Bengals. They won. Joe Burrow is 1-9 in week 1 and 2. Zach Taylor is 1-11 in week 1 and 2. Anytime you can go to a division opponent, a division rival's house, and win, it's good. They won. It wasn't pretty, but they won. I am not worried about Joe Burrow's ability to get back to form. I'm not worried about the offense's ability to get back to form. But I was really pleasantly surprised by the defense and how good it did. Oh, I know. They gave up around 260 yards passing to Joe Flacco. Well, they only got 16 points out of it. I don't think they gave up 50 yards on the ground in total to the Cleveland Browns, and that's what they are. They're a running team. Joe Burrow did pretty good in the first half. Was horrible in the second. The offense as a total was horrible in the second. It happens. Cleveland made adjustments. Cincinnati couldn't get back on track. It happens. So, and I know Cleveland missed an extra point, which would have tied the game up, and then they missed a field goal, which would have put them in the lead. They missed. You want me to say they should have lost the game? Maybe, but they didn't. They won. They're 1-0. They're 1-0 in their division. They're 1-0 in the AFC. But they won. It wasn't beautiful, but they won. Let's go to the Sunday night game. Baltimore and Buffalo. Do you think it was beautiful? The defenses were non-existent. Both of these are considered defensive teams. They were non-existent. Anytime two teams score a combined total of 81 points, there was no defense there. Am I impressed by the offenses? Yeah, very much so. But I'll tell you what I'm really impressed by. Baltimore's ability to give the game away. Big game. Sunday Night Football. Standalone TV. You gave up a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I'm glad you did. That means you're one game behind Cincinnati. So I'm happy about it. I don't hate Baltimore. I wish them luck. As long as they're not playing the Cincinnati Bengals, I wish them luck. But I want the Bengals to win the division. Does that make me a bad guy? I hope not. I think Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback. Now, he does tend to choke in the playoffs. Can't put it any other way. He tends to choke in the playoffs. But in the regular season, he's a monster. He's a beast. Derrick Henry had 165 65 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, I believe. But he still fumbled the ball in the fourth quarter, which enabled Buffalo to come back. So it was a great game. It was exciting. It's fun to watch. I thought it was hilarious. I spent most of the game mad. Oh, come on, Buffalo, man. You can't just let them house you like that. And they didn't. So congratulations, Buffalo. Baltimore, good luck next week. You play the Browns. But watch out. That defense is better than you think. So let's talk about the Colts and what they achieved against Miami. Colts look pretty solid, man. They look pretty serious. Take them lightly at your own risk. Miami is, I don't know, man. They might get the first pick of the draft. They may need another quarterback. It was horrible. The Rams and the Texans, good game, tight game, defensive game. The Rams won. The Texans had a few more sacks. So, does that mean that I believe that the Texans aren't going to win the AFC South? No, doesn't mean that at all. So I just think it was a good defensive game, and the Texans came up on the short end of the stick. The Chargers and the Chiefs. Good game. I'm impressed by the way the Chargers won. I really am. So, I mean, once again, I don't think the Chiefs' defense looked that good. I just don't. Their offense was okay. They were picking up some big chunks of yards. So, I think they'll be all right offensively. But their defense was kind of shaky. Denver beat Tennessee. Good game. It was a pretty good game. Cam Ward's first game. They lost by 7. So that's not bad. Good game. They had some issues. They had some problems. And Denver's got a heck of a defense. So good win by Denver. Good game by Cam and the Tennessee Titans. So the Cowboys and the Eagles. I was pretty secure in the thought that the Dallas Cowboys offense was going to be pretty good. And I thought the defense just wouldn't be enough to stop the Eagles. And that's pretty much what it was. Now, the fact that the Cowboys did what they did against the Eagles defense, that's pretty impressive. So they're going to be in a lot of games this year. Does that mean they're going to win a lot? Not necessarily, but they're going to be in a lot. 49ers beat the Seattle Seahawks with that sloppy. But it's a win. It's a division win. It's a conference win. So, good game. I believe Arizona won, too. So, you're talking about only one team in that division lost the game. And that was Seattle. I thought Green Bay handled Detroit pretty well. They did a really good job against Detroit. Better watch them. I kind of had an idea Detroit was going to have a little bit of problems losing both of their coordinators, but I didn't expect them to lose the first game of the season, although it does make sense. Green Bay they usually win the first game of the season. Pittsburgh and the Jets. Good game. No defense. Aaron Rodgers looked awesome. 4 touchdowns. They won the game. They played in New York, so anytime you can go on the road and win, that's pretty good. So good game. Both offenses looked pretty good. Both defenses looked like they were on vacation still. So pump the brakes on Pittsburgh winning the Super Bowl. I think they're going to be better than I thought. So where we go now? The Jags. The Jags had a good game. Let me think. The Jags had a good game. Washington won pretty handily. The Giants looked bad. Washington won pretty handily. The New England Patriots lost. Not badly. They were in the game. So I think they're going to be all right. I don't think they're making the playoffs, but they'll be in the run for the playoffs. See who else we could talk about here. I know I've missed a bunch of teams that played. And maybe not. Oh, the Raiders won. I was shocked by that. I was completely and totally surprised that the Raiders won that game. So, congratulations, Geno Smith. Pete Carroll, great game. Congratulations. Tampa Bay beat Atlanta. Not by a lot, only by a field goal, but by 3 points. So, but it was still in their division, so it means a lot. But I think everybody pretty much knew that Tampa Bay was going to win that division. I still believe they're going to win it, running away. All right, let's see what else is going on. The Saints lost. They didn't look as bad as I thought they would. Carolina lost. Who was they playing? Carolina and I can't remember. Carolina lost. I think Bryce Young will be okay. Give him a few games. I think he'll get back to form. Alrighty, let me see. So Buffalo was the only team that won a game in their division. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh were the only teams that won a game. The Texans lost. The Colts won. The Titans lost. The Jaguars won. The Chargers won. Denver won. The Raiders won. The only team that lost in their division was the Chiefs. So the 49ers won. Arizona won. And LA won. Seattle was the only team in that division that lost. In the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers won. And the Detroit Lions lost. And I think tonight it's the Minnesota Vikings against the Chicago Bears. So we'll see what works out there. I got the Vikings. In the East, the Giants lost. The Commanders won. The Cowboys lost, and Philly won. In the South, NFC South, the Bucks won. Atlanta lost. The Saints lost, and Carolina lost. So, and considering that the Bucks beat the Atlanta Falcons, which are the team that was expected to give them the most trouble in their division, that's pretty good. So the NFL is going to be an interesting season this year. It really is. I mean, what do you see happening? Do you think that the Kansas City Chiefs aren't going to recover? Because I think they will. Now, when they do it next week, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they're going to recover. If they don't, it's going to be catastrophic. Will Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens win the AFC North? I'm not guaranteed it. It's not guaranteed, man. If they play like that, no defense, and then you got Aaron Rodgers showing out. But then again, Pittsburgh wasn't playing no defense. Cincinnati won, but they weren't playing no offense hardly. So AFC North is going to be interesting. Will the Texans be able to rebound? I think they will. Now, I think Indianapolis is a better team than everybody thinks. I thought the Jags and the Tennessee Titans were about in the same area. I still kind of do. I mean, there's a lot going on. We'll see. Coming in the next few weeks, we'll see. What's everybody going to say if the Chiefs go 0-3? Oopsie. I think that caused some serious panic. What if Baltimore goes 1-2 or 0-3? Man, I'll tell you what, Cleveland beat them last year. So that's dangerous. I believe Cleveland beat them last year. That's dangerous. Cleveland always plays the AFC North hard. They play every game like it's the Super Bowl. They are going to give you – they are going to just like bring you out. So we'll see there too. It's interesting. I enjoyed the weekend. I'm glad Cincinnati lost, but although at the time I was pulling my own hair out. Letting Joe Burrow get sacked 3 times in a row was insane. The fact that he was able to dive out of the end zone before they sacked him and got a safety out of that saved the game. He ain't getting no credit for it, but it really did. His knowledge, he was smart enough to realize where he was and that he couldn't let them sack him in the end zone. So, like, a last-ditch effort while somebody was hanging on to his leg, he jumped out of the end zone. Good job, Joe. Because if they'd have took him down in the end zone, they'd have lost by 1 point. And then what would everybody be saying? Nobody's happy about the way it is now with them having a win. Imagine if they'd actually lost. So that's my thoughts on the weekend. I'll probably do a video after tonight and let y'all know what I thought on that too. Football's back, man. I'm ready to go. I hope you all too. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and share it. I'm trying to grow a base. I don't hate any teams. I have a strong dislike for Baltimore, Cleveland, and the Pittsburgh Steelers because Cincinnati's AFC North and they're AFC North. So they're my rivals. But other than those three, I don't hate any team. Sometimes the Cowboys fans strain my ability to not get a disliking toward a team. And even the 3 other teams in my division. I don't hate them if they're not playing me. Now, I'll root for certain teams when they're playing other teams in my division. I'll root for the Cleveland Browns next week. I hope they beat Baltimore. Do I honestly see it happening? No, but I truly hope they beat Baltimore. I really do. I'd love to have Cincinnati have a 2-game lead over Baltimore. So, enjoy y'all's night. God bless you. Football season's back, man. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all have a great evening. Bye-bye.